Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Dakota Coburn, a landscape photographer, gear enthusiast. Anyways, today I feel like I'm gonna switch things up and make a landscape orientated vlog. So today we're at some falls out in the Sioux Hills. I'm with my good buddy Michael, and we're gonna get some shots of it. I'm gonna show you my different compositions, whatever. I'm just looking at the falls right now and they're raging. It's almost too much water, honestly. I'll show you how I feel on my compositions and whatnot. Should be a good one today. So that's the falls there. I feel like I might get a nice composition of the water framing up that way, going through along. Right now I got my 28 to 75 on. See how that goes. Might shoot a little bit wider.
So I ended up deciding to stick my camera close as I can to a lower fall, almost in the water. It's kind of sketchy there. Framing upwards, looking up to the large fall. You get a nice bright contrast. This is Michael's camera. His is a little higher. Mine's down lower there. It's the opposite side. He would have been in the water. I got the idea for a hero shot with him standing there. So what I did is I came across, jumped across the water, and you see it's very wet. And I almost fell in actually jumping across. My foot landed right there. But kind of the bushwhacked my way up over to that rock. And it's quite a bit brighter there, so it gives a nice contrast with the scenery. Yeah, here I am standing on top of the rock. This is where I set up for the shot, and you can see way down there, there's my camera in the sketchiest place possible. And Michael standing there to watch out for it. And here's one more little pan of the waterfall. You see everything's kind of framed up, lined up for the camera. Yeah, things are getting wet, so we decided to come back and edit pictures. And we both got the shot we wanted to get, so.
Okay, so we're back at home. But anyways, so what I did was I set my tripod in the water close to the waterfall. I was shooting really wide. As you can see, I was shooting at 17 mil, so pretty wide. I shoved my camera close as I could to the smaller falls so it'd make them look bigger. I decided to climb up along the ridge over this way, over to where I saw Michael stand. He was over on this direction. See his picture. And so in the first shot, I kind of stood a little bit more higher up in this direction. You can see that image. Me to take a step down. It just looked so much better, kind of highlighted to me, the bright. And one part I liked is how the waterfall looking up above the sky, you could see with the waterfall opening here, there was no like tree growth or vegetation, so all the light was super good over that area. Give it a nice contrasty look. Anyways, that was just my thought process with the composition. It seemed to turn out nice. For the composition, I really wanted it just to see the lines kind of lead up, like how the smaller waterfall lead up to where I was, like the subject, and then have like the bright light beaming down through it. You can also see from being so close to the waterfall, water is spraying everywhere. You can see little specks on the camera. Specks on the camera here, there, blah, blah, everywhere. I'm gonna open up Photoshop after I'm done editing this and clean those all up, but, oh look, the sunset. Hey. Oh man, I should be out shooting that. Okay, now it's been a few days. I'm just looking over at the image. I finished editing it. I like how it is. It took me a while, had to tweak it a bit. So, let's go over some of the stuff I did to it. What I like about this picture, it really draws in like from a bunch of different corners of the composition. It's a bit of a V shape from the lower waterfall. I did a little light painting up top to give it a little more exaggerated look. So up top, what I did is I put a radial filter near where the source of light is and just exaggerated. I like to bring down the dehaze and lower the clarity. And I made it a little more blue to give it a bit of a moody kind of dreamy look to it. As for the color tones, I really want to go for like a teal-y blue mixed with like some really strong greens look. I thought I'd give it like a really wet kind of winter time in the Pacific Northwest. I used a brush in a few spots here to bring back the details and the highlights, especially in the water where it's quite blown out. You see in like the upper waterfall, I lowered the highlights quite a bit, and then down to the lower section with the waterfall. I gave it a lot more, I just cranked up the texture a bunch, gave it a little more of a blue temperature to it. I just thought it really brought in and helped draw in on it. I also have a graduated filter in the lower waterfall. So with this picture, one thing I wanted to do is really draw the eye into the center where I'm standing as the subject. So how I did it is I created like a big vignette effect throughout the whole image. One of the ways I did it was at the lower waterfall. I used a graduated filter to darken it. It's a really good way to control it because you can erase certain sections, as you can see here. In the shadows, it's already dark enough, so I didn't want that, so I just erased that and all on the top part. So then as it comes up the water, it gradually gets darker, hence the name. It's a little trick I learned. I find while using a paintbrush, it's hard to get that perfect progression as it goes along. And I think I should mention about this picture, I shot at 1/8 of a second because I wanted that motion still captured in the water, because the water is moving extremely fast here. I didn't really want to crank up my shutter speed and make it look all blurry and stuff. I wanted to capture some of that motion. So I thought 1/8 of a second was good. Unfortunately, when it's dark out in the forest like that, I had to turn my ISO to 1600, but honestly, I didn't see much of an issue with that. If you zoom in really tight, we're at, near 240% zoomed in. And like obviously you can see some noise, but zoom, who's ever gonna look like that? Especially for a picture like this when you're posting on Instagram. There's a bunch of little dots and stuff from the water that just happened to get on lens. I just went over in Photoshop to clean it up. As from the little clips, you can see how close my camera was to the water too. It's kind of scary. One trick I had, I took a shower cap and just threw it over top of my camera when I wasn't using it, just to keep it dry in the meantime. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a quick video today. I got a couple of really cool adventures coming up next week. Well, I think it's already happened, but in next week's video, we did some winter caving in the snow. That was pretty cool. And then I pulled an all-nighter a few days ago. I went up to one of my favorite mountains and got beautiful sunrise pictures. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to check in for that stuff. See you next week.